In a recent wave of deportation, a US military plane landed in Amritsar, which is in India, bringing back 112 Indians who were sent home after living illegally in the United States. This was part of a larger effort by the US government under President Donald Trump to send back immigrants who didn't have proper legal papers. Let me tell you, since Trump became the president, 335 Indians have been deported back to India in 3 military flights. These deportations are happening very quick and it's leaving many of the people affected. In fact, their families also feeling hopeless, specifically because they feel like they aren't getting enough help from the Indian government. Who are these deportees? Let's talk about that. This latest batch of deportees included a mix of men, women and even babies. Among the 112 people sent back, 19 were women and 14 were minor, including 2 infants. Most of these people come from different states across India, with 44 coming from Haryana, 33 from Gujarat, 31 from Punjab. There were also a few from Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. Once the plane landed in Amritsar around 10 pm, the deportees went through the required immigration checks and background verification before being sent to their homes. This process took place early in the next morning. The situation is tough for many of the deported individuals and their families as well. Let me give you an example here. Dalip Singh, an elderly man, came to pick up his son, Bhuta Singh, who had gone to the US 5 months ago in search of work. Unfortunately, Bhuta was caught in the US for staying illegally and his entire family had to bring him back home. Dalip's family is from the village Pipli Shakot, and although they were happy to see Bhuta return, they also felt disappointed and helpless. Bhuta's brother Ranjit said that they had no hopes from the Punjab government. They urge young people to go abroad in a legal way so they don't waste money and end up facing legal troubles like this one. He also pointed out that if the government focuses on creating job opportunities in Punjab, the youth could find job and run businesses in their own country instead of risking their entire lives abroad. Then comes another issue. There were also reports of Sikh deportees being treated unfairly during the flight. Some men said that they were shackled during the entire journey and they weren't allowed to wear their turbans, which is a very important part of their religious identity. The Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee condemned the US securities for this particular thing. The group made sure that Sikh deportees were given turbans as soon as they landed in India, showing support to their religious practices. In the meantime, there are serious cases also. The deportation flight didn't just bring back ordinary people, it also carried individuals involved in serious criminal cases. 2 men from Rajpura in Punjab who were wanted for murder cases were arrested right after their arrival. These men, Sandeep Singh, also known as Sunny, and Pradeep Singh, had been on the run after a murder case was filed against them in Rajpura back in 2023. Once they landed, the police took them into the custody. Let's see the bigger picture here. People say that there is no hope from the government. While many of the deported individuals are simply seeking to return to their normal lives, their return home isn't as simple as it sounds. They felt like they have been let down by the Indian government. They went abroad in search of a better life, but instead they ended up getting deported. And when they come back to India, they are not received the support that they expected. The Indian government has been criticized for not doing enough to help the deportees, many of whom left their families behind, spent all their savings, and now they have nothing to show for their effort. But here's a question. Is Indian government really at fault? If somebody who thinks that there's no better opportunity in India crosses the border illegally to reach another country, what is the Indian government going to do here? Well, the situation raises a bigger question about why so many Indians feel the need to leave their homeland in the first place. People say that if there were better job opportunities and more support for young people, many wouldn't have to risk going abroad illegally. The stories of these deportees show the struggle of migrants, not just in the US, but also back home in India. Now, this situation faced by these deported Indians is one that needs attention right now. These people don't just risk their entire life to go abroad, they also face serious consequences for their illegal stay. Still, they are blaming the government. Now that they have returned, they want support from their own government to help them rebuild their life. These people want their government to take a hard look at what's causing the people to take such extreme measures and focus on creating better opportunities at home. After all, a country's greatest resource is its own people, no matter if they went legally or illegally. And if young Indians are leaving for a better future abroad, it's time to make sure that they can find that same future right here in India.